No need to
What do we got next?
We have the
Right.
couch for you with Dr. Pez.
And whilst that happens,
No need to stress. We have the couch for you with Dr. Pez.
Dr.
No need to
Pez,
stress.
you're
We have
missing
the
your
couch
intro,
for
my
you
man.
with Dr. Pez.
no, I saw it. Oh,
We're going to make coffee cups or beer mugs
man.
with this right here. This right here is going to be on beer mugs, and we're going to sell it as Doc Pez. Yeah.
I'll take that.
So, Doc Pez, I've got stress. In some of my leagues, I have Josh Allen and I have Stephon Diggs. Can I rely on them in my 7-3 teams down the stretch and in the playoffs?
Looking at the schedule, they've got the Chiefs and the Cowboys back to back.
Oh,
So if you're talking a stack in your team, out of the stack, I think Stephon Diggs will let you down. But overall, I personally think you've got to. I think it's like Tua and Tyreek, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Who else have you got? Dak Seedy. I just think at this stage of the season, unless it's
Purdy, CMC. I don't know.
CMC, I'll take him on his own. But no, I just don't think you can kind of split them stacks up anymore unless you have like a Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and you're going to get rid of a Stephon Diggs for a Tyreek Hill type thing. So you're getting the best of both worlds. Yeah, maybe. But I think this close to the playoffs for most people, I think you kind of got to stick with your stacks, especially because they've now fired the OC. There's going to be a high emphasis in that team with Sean McDermott to make things right. I don't care, Johnny. It's just not buying into him. I'm not buying into him whatsoever.
Yeah. The thing is, Josh Allen is, in fantasy, the number one scorer. He's the number one quarterback. He's the number one scorer in Orkney Bowl, or he was yesterday when I checked. I don't know.
No, he still is.
Changed today. Fantasy-wise, Allen is going to ball out. I don't see that changing. Diggs, I think, is probably going to let some owners down in the next few weeks. He seems frustrated. He seems angry. In real life, if I was part of the Bills Mafia, I'd be a little concerned that Allen has not lowered his turnover rate that is commensurate with his big play rate like Brett Favre did since Ryan DeBall left. Yeah? It's like he lost his guru. He's still making plays. He's still scoring, but he's turning the ball over way too much for the impact that he's making.
Josh Allen reminds me, traits-wise, he reminds me of a Russell Wilson.
Oh.
It's sexy, really nice, but then when you kind of get sick of it and when it kind of becomes too repetitive, you kind of get bored of it. Now, Russ would throw picks, but Russ, like, further as his career went on, it was complacency, whereas with Josh Allen, it's more picks, and I think that's more frustrating than anything any other quarterback could do. Because, he makes big plays and he runs around, and he does this and he does that, but he's throwing these just daft picks and stuff. I don't watch enough of the Bills, but is he not running as much as he has done previously? Because is that why he's throwing as many picks? Because they need to just scrap what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I think James Cook is not working out, is he? I mean, James Cook is solid, but he's not the running game that the Bills need. And then, of course, Singletary left, right? Yeah. Singletary was on the Bills. Yeah. And then they lost Moss.
Yeah.
Moss and Singletary, while they weren't flashy, they grounded out 100 to 125 yards a game between the two of them. You know? James Cook, the running game is not so solid, I think. I think he needs a bellwether back. A bell cow.
Running backs always struggle with at the Bills because of Josh Allen and what he does. But you are right to answer the question without going too far down the rabbit hole with it. Is I'd trust Josh Allen over Stephon Diggs, and if you could maybe trade a Stephon Diggs for like a Tyreek Hill, because Stephon's still wide receiver 4.
What about Stephon for Jalen Waddle?
No chance.
You would not do that trade.
That's too low.
Too
low. I'd use Stephon with his ranking and his performances through the year, maybe with another piece, and then try and attack a CD or a Tyreek. It's so hard because if you're not going to go for one of them two, there's no point going for anyone,
right?
Unless it's maybe a top running back.
Especially in a
no one. This is what I mean. Yeah, this is what I mean. No one's going to give up Tyreek, CD, CMC, like this far down the line. No, like unless they're one of these people who got one of them really, really cheap players who's going off week in, week out. You're not giving up one of them top guys this close to the playoffs. Like, so initially I said you just stay with your stack. I think you're just gonna have to weather the storm.
Yeah, and Diggs is actually still the number 4 wide receiver. So, exactly. I mean, fantasy owners are complaining, but he's number 4. I don't get it. Let's go to the next question. Can I start to think that, maybe the Broncos have turned a corner? Russell Wilson is a top 10 QB again. And with that, Javonte Williams is going to be the back we all thought he was going to be 2 years ago. And Najee Harris, wow, welcome back to your rookie year, dominating the game on the ground. He's been putting up 15-plus points a game. Is this going to be a weekly thing, or should I be nervous and think it's all going to be crumbling down?
Well, I'd say you've got to be nervous. Looking at the schedules, because Jalen Warren yesterday watching the Steelers-Browns game, Jalen Warren looks really good. And that equated to... They were playing the Browns, but that equated to Najee getting 4.6 points. Now, schedule-wise, they've got the Bengals, the Cardinals. They've got a tough game against the Patriots, but then the main playoff push is the Colts, the Bengals, and the Seahawks. That's for Najee. So, depending what your situation is, I'd probably take the gamble on starting him, because I reckon Warren and him will just do what they did, where they get average 15 fantasy points each. Javonte Williams, not really good when he played the Vikings and he only got 7 fantasy points, and then he's got the Browns next week. And then he's got Houston, the Chargers. They are 2 nice matchups, but then he's got the Lions and the Patriots back-to-back week 15-16. That he could solely by himself put you out of the playoffs with them 2 matchups back-to-back. So I'd say I'd feel more comfortable playing Najee over Javonte for as a weekly start.
100%. A few weeks ago, we had our mid-season prediction podcast. I predicted Najee Harris is going to have a renaissance in his career in the second half with Tomlin, running the ball and just grounding it out with Pickett. And I might be crazy, but I foresee that Pickett and Pickens are going to start clicking at some point. Pickett is not a terrible quarterback. He doesn't make those Ritter mistakes or Zach Wilson mistakes that kills a team. He allows the Steelers to stay in the game and his teammates to win the game. And that's okay. And I think that at some point, Pickett and Pickens are going to be AB and Roethlisberger. What do you think?
I think that's a bit bold at the moment.
Really. Yeah, that's a bold one.
Really bold, but
yeah.
I don't know. I think that's a bit too bold
and
for me.
Harris is going to be there. He's the new boss. He's driving the Steelers to the playoffs, like I predicted. They're going to be there. All right. I agree with Doc Pez on this. I'm taking it too far. Johnny, let's go to the next one. Oh, look at that. Is Kenny Pickett or George Pickens worth keeping on the roster down the stretch? I don't know. Are they going to be of value this year to keep just in case? Or do you think Pickens is too much of a every week to where you just don't know what he's going to do?
Let's have a look. Let's get him up.
Yeah, let's bring him up. I have Pickens on a lot of my teams. He's been quite disappointing so far this season.
Yeah, I was going to say 9-2-9-9.
Yeah.
They then
a lot of 9s, a lot of 10s, maybe a 12 every now and then.
Only 19 points. I chucked that in there. 3 game-winning weeks out of 10 so far. And then you look at his schedule. He's got. Oh, of course they're a risk. The whole team, they're just literally, they're on a razor's edge from just breaking. Like they are. They just get it done, but I wouldn't want that on my fantasy team. They've got the Bengals, whose defense is going to have the tails up after losing Burrow to try their best to just salvage anything. Then they do the Cardinals, the Patriots. He could potentially have a good game here and there. He's just, do you know what? Looking at it, without going too deep into it, he's a spot start. Kenny Pickett, I don't even want to look at his points because it's just, I know it's going to be disgusting. I've got him on my team. Look at that. Look how disgusting that is. One game over 20 points all year. He had one at 19. And then it's mid-range double digits or not even double digits. 4, 9, 5, 5. Disgusting. Pickett can do one. You're all right on the defense.
Because the offense won't be able.
Yeah, 100%.
The offense won't be able to stay on the field. The defense will be on the field too much. They'll tire out, and they will regress. The Cincinnati season. I
was going to say for the
7 and 9, 7 and 10. I guess this season. Yeah, 7 and 10.
Yeah, so George Pickens, you could potentially spot start him in maybe 2 games down the stretch, 3 at a push. Kenny Pickett, just don't even dream about it. Because if you've got to play him like I've got to play him, you're in desperate situations.
14
Hence
points,
why
man.
2.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, that's my answer.
Start on a rebuilding team.
You don't even... You don't even start Kenny Pickett on the rebuilding team. You just go without a quarterback if that's your option.
Oh, my God.
But George Pickens, spot start.
I will tell you, when he got drafted by the Steelers, I'm not a Steelers fan, but I was thinking he's just going to take off and be top 10, top 15 within 1 or 2 years. Easy. And he's definitely not top 20. But anyway, Johnny, I think everyone agrees with this. Let's go to the next one. Will J. Dobbs score more rushing touchdowns than any Vikings running back? Yeah, Chandler, Madison, and then I don't know.
A guy I've never heard of, but he's been in the league like 3 years or something. I'm going to say yeah, because he seems to get one a game. He just reckless regard for his body, does not give a shit about anything. He's like, I'm just loving the opportunity to play football. And yeah, like Madison. So let's take it into Madison at the moment. He's 3 on the year, and they were all passing. He's not even had a rushing touchdown. So in the context of rushing, he's not had a rushing touchdown, Madison.
No.
So you compare that to you compare that to Dobbs.
McG
Dobbs,
loves
obviously,
that.
with the
I promise
Cardinals.
you.
With the Cardinals, he's on 2, 4. He's on 6 for the season. When did he start for the? When did he start? Did he start against Atlanta? He did, didn't he? So he's already 3 up on Madison on rushing touchdowns. And then if you take Ty Chandler is on 1.
Oh.
So he's already 2 ahead of the nearest running back.
I love this guy.
He plays the Bears next week, so he could get 2 next week. Oh man.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
By the way,
I'm gonna say yeah.
Johnny's question. It's a great question, Johnny. Yeah. I love Joshua Dobbs.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine he started on the Browns, which really, really need him right now. Went to the Cardinals thinking that, they're trading for him so they can tank. And he's balling out every week, man. And then they just, hey, Kyler's here. See you later, alligator. You're going to the Vikings. And then he's like Kirk Cousins, man. I love this guy.
Yeah. So I'm going to say yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. Good question, Johnny. Let's go to the next one. What team has the best overall fantasy team? I've thought about this several times. Like, can you invest your top position players, your quarterback, your RB1, your wide receiver 1, your tight end 1, or wide receiver 2, and make your fantasy team with one team, such as the Niners with Purdy, Kittle, CMC, Debo, Ayuk, Dolphins, Tua, A-Chain, Mostert, Waddle, Hill, etc.
Right, so let's put it into context for the here and now. Get rid of the Chiefs. Get rid of the Dolphins. I can't really think of any other because I'm seeing these names, but if I took these 4 names, the Niners, yes, and the Texans are for me because you've got Purdy, CMC, Ayuk, Debo Samuel can throw a game in here and there, so like he's your spot start, and then Kittle's starting to get involved. Kittle's starting to get involved at tight end, so that's all. Good shout, Johnny. Eagles.
Yes, that's what I was wanting comments for. There you go.
So he's made a good point here actually with the Eagles. I'll batten them in with the Chiefs, but then the Texans, Stroud getting the points. Tank Dell's getting the points. Nico Collins is getting the points.
Brown.
You've got no Brown. You've got Dalton Schultz. So there you are, your quarterback, and then Singletary. So you've got your quarterback, your running back, 2 wide receivers,
Pierce
and a tight end.
Had 1,000 yards, and he's your backup.
He's just not doing it this year.
Yeah.
So for me, the Niners and the Texans, you could take a player from each position, put them in your team, and they do well for you. Now, Johnny said the Eagles in the chat. I'm going to ban them with the Chiefs because they're the same type of team when it comes to fantasy. You literally have a quarterback and a tight end. You have a quarterback and a wide receiver. The Chiefs have Mahomes, Kelsey, every now and again Pacheco. The Eagles have Hurts, AJ Brown, every now and again Deontay Swift, right?
Mm.
Swift, and then Devonta Smith just is too inconsistent this year. The Chiefs don't have a wide receiver one, so they don't have a wide receiver you can really lean on and be confident in. So for me, when it comes to fantasy, the Chiefs and the Eagles are the same team. They're on the cusp of being the best team, but at this current moment in time, for me, it's the Niners and the Texans are like gold mines when it comes to fantasy.
I think the Niners stand
If you're
out.
talking,
They're number one without a doubt. Texans,
100%. And with the
solid number two. I don't know why you're not giving the Dolphins much love. I think they're the highest scoring offense in the league this season. Yeah.
Right, okay, so the reason I won't love is because it's Tua and Tyreek. I'm talking about, like, here and now. A-Chain's gone off injured again.
Well, Waddle missed, I think, for a week.
So it's bloated. Waddle's not been great this year. So I'm talking about overall team, and they don't have a tight end. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so overall team, the Niners are the best.
He's not doing it, is he?
Who I put up there as well, I put the Cowboys up there, but they're not up there because they don't have a wide receiver two, and Tony Pollard ain't getting it done this year. Big no.
Elliott actually has better stats and less fantasy points. How does that happen?
Well, maybe it might just be because the guy had a serious leg injury, but us as fantasy players are fickle, and because the team rushed him back, we think, he must be okay, because Jerry Jones perfectly knows what he's doing all the time. That's why you've gone through years of just stagnant play. He had a serious leg injury before the season, and people just think he's going to come back to the old Pollard.
We knew. Most people don't realize Pollard is 26. Everyone thinks he's this young running back that's going to take over for Zeke. No, he's literally gone after this season. He will not be back. The Cowboys will have a new running back next season. Pollard, I don't know how many people watched the game. I did. You saw the clip. His leg snapped in half. I mean, it was nasty.
But this is what. This is why the Cowboys. This is why the Cowboys organization, the majority of the NFL fandom loves just dunking on you whenever things go wrong. Like now, you're literally on the same train. You're killing this regular season. You'll get into the playoffs. Mike McCarthy and his big brain thinking will fuck you over, and then you'll be a laughingstock yet again. Because the organization goes, oh yeah, Tony Pollard, you're our RB1. Yeah. You snapped your leg in half, but you're the RB. Go out and get him a serviceable RB2. Who's Doddle? Who's that little midget?
Hasn't been that bad, but yeah, you're right. A Dalvin Cook would have been good, right?
He's not like a Singletary Dameon Pierce. Look at Singletary. He's eventually got his chance as the RB2, proving that he's an RB1. Daddle, if you had to rely on him, not a chance. The little midget they drafted, not a chance.
Yeah. Cowboys will have a new running back.
They put Pollard.
Doc Pez, we're running.
Yeah, they put him in the shit.